All right, today we're jumping into a really powerful story from 19th century Taiwanese history. It's all about a man who saw what was happening around him, all the injustice, and just decided he had to fight back. He dared to dream of something better for his people. We're talking about the story of Dai Chaochun. So to really get what's going on here, we have to travel back in time a bit. Picture this. It's 19th century Taiwan, ruled by the Qing dynasty. And for most folks, life wasn't just hard. It was a constant daily grind, a real struggle. You could just feel the tension in the air. So where did all that tension come from? Well, it all started with some seriously unfair rule. Let's break down the conditions that really pushed people to want to change. It really boiled down to two massive problems. First, you had just widespread poverty. I mean, families were really struggling. And second, there was this huge gap, this growing conflict between the people and the government. People just didn't trust them. So you've got this mix of poverty and mistrust. And that's basically a powder keg, just waiting for a spark. Well, that spark did come, and it came in the form of one person with a dream. This is where our leader enters the picture, and this is him, Dai Chaochun. Now, what's so important to know is that he wasn't some noble or a guy born with a silver spoon. No, he came from the people. He was one of them. He gathered the farmers, the workers, the very people who were struggling the most. He knew exactly what they were going through, and somehow he brought them all together with this one big idea, fighting for a better life. His motivation, it was really simple but so powerful. He wanted to fight against unfair rule. That's it. This wasn't about chaos or just tearing things down. It was about justice. He saw a system that was totally broken and truly believed he could lead people to something better, something more fair. Okay, so you've got a leader, you've got a cause. Now it's time for action. Let's get into the fight for justice itself. So it all kicks off in 1862, and at first, looked like they might actually win. They had these early victories, and that got a ton of people excited. So many more joined the fight, but they were going up against the Qing government, a massive empire, and the government hit back hard. They sent in more soldiers, professional soldiers, and things started to go downhill. The rebellion was eventually defeated, and Dai Chaochun was captured. And this really shows you what they were up against. I mean, look at the two armies on one side. You've got DIA's army. These are farmers and workers, right? They're fighting with everything they've got, fueled by this dream of a better life. Then on the other side, you've got the Qing army, way stronger, with way more soldiers. It was a total David and Goliath situation. The odds were just stacked against them from day one. But here's the thing, even though the fight was lost, the story is far from over. In fact, this is where it gets really interesting, because it's not about the battle, it's about what he left behind, a legacy of hope, and this is really the key takeaway. Yeah, the rebellion ended, it failed, but his story turned into this incredible lesson in courage. It wasn't about winning a war, it was about having the guts to stand up for what you believe in, even when it seems impossible. So why do we still talk about him? It really comes down to this. He's remembered because he showed incredible courage. He wanted justice for the people, plain and simple, and his story. It teaches us about hope even when things look bleak. But maybe most of all, it teaches us about the importance of the struggle itself. And that leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? What's really more important, the victory or the struggle for justice itself? The story of Dai Chaochun really makes you wonder. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.